Welcome back to my channel. As you saw by the title, we are making homemade sushi. But I'm not in my kitchen as you can see because I wanted to tell you a little bit of a background story about how I learned to eat sushi and to like it. So it was my husband who introduced me to sushi because he loved sushi. So he wanted us to now go out and we can have sushi. And I told him I'm never going to try sushi because I was informed growing up that sushi was just raw fish. But the people that informed me, they themselves didn't know what sushi was because um, when I actually went to the restaurant, I was surprised to see this because I expected to go and find behind this big piece of this fish, like a whole fish, and raw, and then just like eat it. Yeah, I know it's a bit dumb, but that was my head because if somebody says raw fish, what do you think? What do you don't expect it to be anyway. So he ordered sashimi, which is just a piece of salmon. I think it can also be tuna, but with nothing, just like that, and then you eat it. I didn't like the texture in my mouth, so I said, no, this is not for me. It was better than what I had in my head imagined, but still, it was not for me, the texture. So I ordered some other things, which was the rainbow roll, the California roll, the fashion sandwich, which had rice. And that helped, to cover that salmon inside. So I tried it and it was not bad. So then he took me to another restaurant next time and I tried it again and I was like really in love. So since then I have informed anybody who was previously misinformed about sushi, and now I even take them to a place that makes sushi and I say, yeah, this is how you eat it, let's order this and try it out. And yeah, I'm happy to inform you that I have a lot of people now that eat sushi because they have been informed by yours truly. And you can watch this video now, fast forward to how we make homemade sushi, and you can also maybe share it with other people that were previously misinformed. And yeah, enjoy the video. If you enjoy this kind of setup, please let me know, then maybe we can do a story time of my favorite foods as well that I make. Thank you so much. Let's get into the video. So for the first step, is not in the video because I did it a few days ago and I completely forgot that I should show you how to cure the salmon. So we get the fish from the store obviously, but you need to ask them for the thicker part of the salmon, but they don't want to give it to you because they want you to buy the whole fish if you want that thick one. So they end up just giving you the tail. It doesn't have a lot of meat to work with for sushi, so you need like a thicker cut, not a thin cut. But if that's what you get, it will also work. But how you cure it is you get a bottle of rice vinegar, and then you have salt as well. So what you do for the first step is that you put your fish in a baking sheet, and then maybe put a baking paper inside and sprinkle salt like all over both sides with the skin on, and then just leave it to sit in the fridge for an hour. And then after an hour you take it out of the fridge, and then you put it in a dish that's big enough to fit the fish, and then pour if it's just one, you just pour maybe half of the rice vinegar. But if you've got like two, then maybe you can just pour the whole bottle of rice vinegar inside. And then you also add ice and water until the entire fish is under the water. And then you need quite a bit of ice. So if you've got like a ice tray like this, put that whole ice tray inside and then put it in the fridge another hour. And then after that second hour, just take it out of the water and then pat dry it with a baking paper. And then once it's completely dry, you don't need to go and rinse it or anything like that, but you see that the color is almost like you cooked it a little bit because it's hazy. And then you're going to take that, put it in cling wrap, and you put it in the freezer for the minimum of 48 hours. That's the minimum. So you can go longer as long as you want. I left it for 3 days because that's when I needed to use it for the sushi. But yeah, that's how you cure your salmon, and then you just cut the skin off just before you do your sushi, and just remove all the cured pieces. So the top and the skin, remove all of that and just leave the inside, that orangey shiny color. That's what you're going to use for your sushi. And there is no bacteria, no germs, because between the salt and the rice vinegar, nothing can survive that. But then yeah, now you have your sushi that is safe to eat at home. For our rice, we start by washing 2 cups of rice. You see it looks like milk there. We need to wash it until that water is clear. So you just keep going until it's nice and clear, trying to remove all the starch to make it healthier a little bit. There, it should look something like this. You can see that water is so clear. And now we're just going to soak it for 30 minutes before we cook it. This is what it looks like after 30 minutes of soaking. The grains have just expanded a little bit. Now we're going to put 2 cups of water into 2 cups of rice. Don't put more than that. If you're gonna do 3 cups of rice, then you do 3 cups of water. 4 cups is just so on and so on. Now we boil it. When you see it steaming, you reduce the heat and simmer it for 8 minutes. After 8 minutes, you leave it covered like this in the pot for 20 minutes. Switch off the stove and leave it covered for 20 minutes. Now we're making our sauce for the rice. So we don't put any salt or anything in the salt. We put it here in the sauce. So you can use sugar, salt, and rice vinegar, or you can use honey instead of sugar. And instead of sushi vinegar, you can use rice vinegar. What you get between the two, use that one. It's perfect. Now we just mix it while the rice is resting for 20 minutes. I use this wooden bowl because I saw on YouTube that that's the traditional way of doing it, and it helps it not to crush the rice, unlike a metal dish or a glass dish. So look at that, the grains, they are separated. And also I saw this on YouTube as well. You get everything on YouTube, okay? That's why I'm here now. So you sprinkle it like this so that the sauce goes everywhere in the rice, not just one part. And don't worry if the rice is a bit runny now because of the sauce, because after the hour of resting, it's going to absorb all the moisture and have ton of flavor. So just mix it with a wooden stick as well, just to help it not to mash the rice or break the rice. Sushi is one of those things that I promised myself that I was never going to make at home, because I still wanted to leave something that I can still go to a restaurant and eat. But the pandemic has forced my hand, and I am not going back. I'm loving it. It looks like so much work, but when you actually start doing it, you see it's not. It's just because it's a video, you have to stop and start something else and stop and start something else. But when you're doing it in real life, it's not that much work. Now I'm just going to cover it and leave it to rest for 1 hour before we assemble our sushi. For the assembling process, we need the nori sheets or the seaweed. I think it's also called a seaweed sheet. And now we're going to put our rice after it's rested for 1 hour. And you need this bowl of water here because the rice gets sticky. and it will be stuck to your hands if you don't put your hands inside the water, and then it ends up becoming a big job. So just, it's safer to have water here. And also the knife, when you're cutting later on, you need the water so that the rice doesn't stick to the knife and things like that. These are toasted sesame seed. I just toasted them while the rice was resting. It just gives it a nice, beautiful, nutty flavor. She wanted to start another sushi, this little one, and I told her we do one at a time. She's been asking me for this sushi for the longest time, so she was so excited when I finally made it. She had 8 pieces. I was so shocked because before, when she has had sushi, it's either 1 or 2, but she just wanted it so much and she waited for like 2 weeks for it. So when it came, she enjoyed it. So again, we put our hands in the water. So this is a fashion sandwich that we're making. We just put the rice at the bottom and then put rice on half of the second side, as you can see in the video. And now we're gonna put our sesame seed again on this side, but we're gonna do a rainbow roll just now, and the rainbow roll we only put the rice one side. Now I'm gonna put some plain cream cheese, because when I ate it for the first time with cream cheese, I loved it so much. I'd eaten it before without cream cheese and it was good, but with cream cheese it was better. So I said, when I make it myself, I'm going to put cream cheese. Now whenever I go somewhere to eat sushi, I always ask them, does it have cream cheese? Will you put cream cheese? You know, if they don't, I ask them specifically to put, because it just adds a different flavor to the whole sushi that is so good. So I would highly recommend putting it. Just spread it nicely. She was telling me how excited she was and how much she loves me because I made the sushi that she was asking for. This is now, I'm putting salad cream instead of mayonnaise because it's sweeter than mayonnaise. The traditional Japanese mayo is sweeter than normal mayonnaise that we have. So that's why when I couldn't find it, I decided to use the salad cream, and it's a bit sweeter than the mayo, which is good. And it just gives it a beautiful, beautiful flavor. Now we're gonna put our avocados. Just make sure that you cut them into thin slices because you don't want them to fly out when you are cutting because they're too big. Now we're gonna put our cured salmon, as I explained in the beginning of the video, that you must, how to cure it. It's just for health reasons, you know, so you don't have bacteria and all those things inside you when you eat the sushi. Because between the salt and the rice vinegar, as I already said, it helps it to kill the germs. And your knife needs to be sharp because this nori sheet, it's quite tough to cut. So if your knife is blunt, then you're gonna have a difficult time. It's already starting to take shape. Just putting a cling wrap before putting the bamboo mat so the rice doesn't stick to the mat. It's very inexpensive. But what I did is I bought all my sushi making kit on a period of time. So I didn't buy everything at once because sushi is one of those things that I told myself that I was never going to try at home I was just going to eat it at a restaurant, and then the pandemic happened and I decided to try it. My helper here wanted to help me and she ended up folding it too small. But we want it to be a square. So I'm sure there are techniques that I use in traditional sushi making, but I don't have them. I haven't mastered them yet. So for now, this is what I do, and it worked for me. And the knife needs to be quite sharp because, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, if it's not sharp, all your things inside will come out. Your salmon, your avocado, all of that. So just cut it into slices. I've seen it in triangles, but I'm not there yet. I think the more I do it, the more I practice, the more it will be okay. Also, I'm not going to practice on camera because then everything comes out. But slices worked for me and they were so pretty and so delicious. As you can see, that water is very important. So there I'm trying to cut it into triangle and it did not work. So just slices worked. I enjoy the satisfaction of making something from just thinking about making it into actually making it and seeing it. It's just, there's just something about that makes me smile. So if you're like me and you enjoy trying new things, then you should definitely give this a try. Look at those slices, they are so pretty. Look at the colors inside. So beautiful. That's one thing about the Japanese people. They love beautiful food before they can eat it. And also you need to keep cleaning because the sesame seeds and the rice, all of that, it just falls all over. So just keep your workspace neat and you won't go wrong with that. Now we're making our rainbow roll. We're just going to put the rice on one side. Please let me know in the comments below when you started eating sushi. What was your experience like? I'd love to hear different people's your first time eating sushi, because I didn't like trying new food when I was younger, but now because I'm making it myself now, I enjoy trying new things and from all over. In South Africa, we are exposed to so many cultures, so it's just fun to try food from all over the world. There's our salad cream again. You just spread it generously all over, because we use the salad cream as almost like a glue. There we put our cucumber. She's been waiting patiently to help me to put this cucumber, so she was excited to do so. But I think she was more excited to eat this sushi because she asked for it almost 2 weeks ago, and I said we're going to make it soon. So soon finally arrived and she had 8 pieces. I was so shocked. But it was really that good. Put our avocado. Must be quite thin. As I mentioned, you don't want it to come out when you're cutting. There's our salmon. You can also pickle carrots and put carrots instead of salmon if you want it to be vegetarian. There's our bamboo mat again. And then we're going to put cling wrap. As I mentioned, you don't want the rice to go inside the bamboo mat. So if you don't have a cling wrap, go and invest in one. It's very important. Unless you get a mat that already has a plastic on it, then that will be perfect. Now we're just folding it into a beautiful roll. So it didn't come out okay there the first time, so I decided to just roll it again. Now the cling wrap was also sticking to itself. I didn't like the shape, so I just shaped it up again a bit more before putting the avocado and the salmon. I will see what you can replace avocado with for those who do not like avocado. I'll look it up and I'll leave it in the description. So you just continue with the process until you have all you need, or you have used up all the rice. So this salmon is 200 grams. So you don't need a lot of salmon because you cut it into thin slices. So I think when they charge you expensive for sushi, it's more about the work and not the amount of salmon that they put inside. I could have shaped it a bit better on the sides, but I was now hungry and this little person was also hungry, so it was time to eat. Look how pretty that looks though. So gorgeous, so pretty. Yes. So my best friend was saying to me, it looks like a Japanese person made it. So thank you, Pami. You are so sweet. I'm gonna be making it for her soon. So you can hold me to this. Look at that. Look how pretty that looks. Now let's get ready to dig in. I'll just show you the pickled ginger. I made this, but you can buy yours in the shop, and the wasabi and the soy sauce. This is low sodium soy sauce. Enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Comment. I love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed the story time, let me know also. If you didn't like it, also let me know. I am active in my comments, so I will be replying and reading all your messages. Thank you so much for the support so far, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.